I fake.
Who's the laptop? But you gotta set that up.
No, because the internet won't work with the laptop. Like I have to, before we leave, I have to connect it to the Wi-Fi here. Like my phone is already connected to the Wi-Fi. I got to connect it to the Wi-Fi. Hey everybody. Hey everybody. Welcome to the Let's Talk with Carolyn show on SadorRadio.com. I'm Mr. C.
Good evening.
How are you?
I'm good. How about yourself?
You good today?
This is going to be interesting.
It is?
Yeah.
Okay. Let's take care of some housekeeping rules first. If you are on your laptop, I want you to watch YouTube Live and type in www.bit.ly/Sador Radio. That is the link to watch this show live. www.bit.ly/Sador Radio. That is SADIOR RADIO. If you are in Radio Land, go to your app on your smartphone and download Live and Direct Marketplace. Click on Sador Radio. If you are on Facebook, you're already here with me. So tonight's show is a two-part show for the 2 hours. I'm gonna get into the health alerts or health awareness, and then I'm gonna get into this all about sex conversation and some different things and different topics on sex. Sex is a topic don't nobody want to talk about. It's like in some cultures it's taboo to talk about. In some religions it's forbidden to talk about. But everybody does it at some point in their life. But don't nobody want to talk about sex. So I know that I'm pushing the envelope with some of my topics, and I'm gonna keep pushing the envelope with all of my topics. I know that I talk about some topics that don't nobody want to talk about, or some people feel like, oh, I can't believe that she's going to talk about sex on her show. Yes, I am. I'm going to talk about it. It is a reality in life. Um, Mr. C, you have something you want to say?
Not yet.
Not yet. All right, let me go. Yes. What is it?
No.
Thank you. Thank you, Sador. Thank you. Um, Something you want to say? I mean, you can say it. Don't be shy.
Oh, last time I wasn't shy.
So you
Something came
can
out my mouth.
say what's on your mind. Say it.
What made you decide to take that up?
The sex topic?
Well, it's been sex for the last couple of weeks.
No, it hasn't.
Yes, it has.
We did side chicks.
Okay.
We did side dudes.
Okay.
And are you talking about what? The other topic that was on, can a person have a stroke or heart attack after sex?
Yes.
Is you talking about that topic?
Yes.
That wasn't on this show, so that don't count. That don't count. That was on another show.
Okay.
okay?
You got
But
sex on the brain.
no. It's just that, I pick reality topics. Am I pushing the envelope or something?
Very much so, yes.
I really am.
Yeah, you really are. But
Mr. C
do
says
you?
I'm pushing the envelope.
Do you?
I am.
Okay.
I'm a realist, Mr. C.
Okay.
And I don't see nothing wrong with the topic. People shy to talk about sex. People shy to talk about orgasms. People shy to talk about the different types of relationships they have, the relationship arrangements that they have. People don't really want to talk about what women want. People don't really want to talk about what men want. And I covered all those topics. hmm Covered them, been there, done that, did it.
Oh, ooh, okay. Did it, huh?
Yeah, been there, done that, did it. But tonight, I'm gonna talk about methyl mercury, which has came up in the health alert, and I'm going to talk about red meat that is tied to breast cancer. So those are the two health alerts that I am going to discuss and talk about. This is where I will stop. Hmm. Right. I'm stopping. Hey everybody, how you doing? So the two. Hi, Dr. Lorenzo. No, they are not. You're right. Thank you. If I'm understanding you right, thank you. Dr. Lorenzo says I'm good.
Okay.
I'm good.
All right.
So I want to talk about the two health
Who's
alerts.
Dr. Lorenzo?
He's one of he's a doctor that comes into my live stream.
Okay.
Yes. And when I know that there's a topic that I'm covering and I know he knows the answer to it, I have to let him know, Doc, you can't answer because you already know the answer to it, like last week when the women's positivity challenge. But that's another thing. So health alerts. Methyl mercury has came up in the news again. And methyl mercury is being known to be in fish. So, and it's going to be the larger, older fish that has the most mercury. Like all fish has mercury in it, but the larger fish has methyl mercury. So let me explain what it is. It is when it's in the form of bacteria, soil, and plants. Okay? And it's when bacteria reacts with mercury in the water, the soil, the plants. You may ask, how does it get in the fish? That is simple. When industrial pollution releases elemental mercury in the air, and when it rains, it gets in the water, and when the fish feed, it when it gets into the water, it converts or changes into methyl mercury. So when the fish feed, they are eating and feeding on a deadly poison. Fish is at the top of our food chain. So if we eating fish that has been poisoned with methyl mercury, it's toxic to our body. So that's one of the health alerts that I wanted to talk about.
Any specific fish?
Yeah, the specific fish are swordfish, king mac. Do you eat king mackerel?
No.
Okay. Do you eat swordfish?
No.
Okay. Do you eat shark?
I had it.
You had shark before?
Mhm.
What it taste like?
It was chewy, but it was good.
Really?
It was real good.
Mm, I
Mhm.
can't see me eating shark
Yeah,
fish.
it was good.
Okay, shark is on the list. So it's four. It's swordfish, king mackerel, shark, and tilefish. What the FDA suggests is you substitute or stop eating it and you're going to substitute it with shrimp salmon, canned light tuna, catfish, and pollock.
What about whiting?
Whiting wasn't in there. Whiting has no effect.
How about trout?
Nope, wasn't in there. Whiting, trout, cod wasn't in there either.
Okay,
Okay.
but you can eat those, the whiting and the trout.
Yeah, the whiting and the trout, the cod is good.
Okay,
The salmon, the catfish is good. The shrimp, good. Just those four. Those four, if you eat those four, stop eating them. If you eat those four fish, Dr. Lorenzo wants to come in. Let me let him come in. If you eat those four fish, stop eating them. And Dr. Lorenzo, I did add you. I'm just waiting on him to come in. Hey, Dr. Lorenzo.
Hi, how are you?
All right, how are you tonight?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing all right, sir.
It's an interesting subject.
With the methyl mercury,
Ecology of it all.
yes, yes. Can you give us some insight on what you know about it?
Well, um,
can they hear?
Yeah.
ecology
On here?
is very interesting phenomenon because the environment affects us in all kinds of ways, and our behavior in the environment uh, will affect us in many different ways. Um, how we deal with environmental waste, how we deal with our own personal waste, how we transport that, how we recycle it, how we dispose of it, creates uh, changes in the environment. Sometimes those changes can be biological, physiological, psychological, or all of the above.
Okay.
Um, that's why I was just punching in on your thing and accidentally hit the camera. Um, Studying ecology, the fundamentals of it, will help you get more depth and understanding about um, where we are now and the dangers and the adaptability of our genetic makeup as we move forward in a world that is becoming more and more uh, uh,
Polluted.
destructive in the environment.
Okay.
Like with the food, there's a wonderful piece now. You go on to Google artificial intelligence, or uh, there's this technology, physical technology, where they're actually breeding fish as we speak in these factories where there are these huge pools of fish that are being bred, salmon, all these, and they're being sold on the market. They look beautiful. They're nice and red. Those fish are being bred for production, for increase in income. It affects the economy. It affects the economic wealth of, of the food market. This food is scarce because of the damage to the, uh, the eco environment. So they have to come up with ways to create food so that we can survive. So they're now creating what they call cloning, basically fish, all types of fish. All you have to do is punch in cloning of fish or some keyword into Google, and you will find it.
Okay. Doc, I got a question.
This has been going on.
I have a question. Now, because it's being done in a lab, would you say that that fish is safe for human consumption?
Um, I'm gonna say this: anything that is biologically um, stemming from something that is biological is not, to me, harmful. Uh, it's just that we have to wrap our minds around what we've been accustomed to seeing and knowing. The thing about knowledge is that it has, like universal affirmatives about anything, it has two sides to it. Knowledge and everything in life, universal affirmative affirmations have two sides. Uh, Einstein talks about this theory of relativity, uh, the theory of multiplicity. There's nothing in this world that is one side. There's nothing, nothing that we can think of. For every opposite, there's another opposite. So when I look at the evolution of man and the ecology and the environment, how they manipulate the environment, we might be used to growing our food, eating our food, getting a fish out of the sea and bringing it home and cooking it. But let's look at that for a moment. When we go fishing, that fish was created from an ecology standpoint. There are still different types of fish being that are evolving. When you really look at the under sea world, there are fish that we've never even seen before.
Okay.
Because life and human life and biometric life, um, chemical life is always changing. So all I have to do on the psychological end of that is say what you say. I would have to see how they did this experiment, how they used the genetic um, uh, ladder to create, or genomes to create the next fish. It's just almost like you creating, procreating me, and we
Okay.
have a baby. Those genes come together and they create a new form. If somebody outside of us seeing that would say, they saw it for a long time, it's over and over and over again, they would become accustomed to it. But to someone whose mind has never seen it, they would say, wow, they're creating these new this, that, or the other. Is it
Right.
healthy? Is it not? We don't know. But I see these fish, the salmon. They are selling the salmon on the market now.
Does
And tilapia was never ever a fish. It was
so?
a hybrid to other fish.
And a lot of
Tilapia
people
has
eat
never,
tilapia. A lot of
yes,
people eat tilapia, and it was never a fish.
it
Wow.
was never a fish that you would have known. It was
Okay.
a wild made fish. It was made out of this process of artificial engineering.
Okay.
But people love it. It comes from other fish. The genomes come from other fish. Maybe from uh, it tastes almost like whiting, or like a what do you call it? Whiting is in the family of fish, trout.
Okay.
It's in the trout family. So it, it when I first tried it, I was like, wow, I knew nothing about it. I said, tilapia, I've known about fish. In the black community, we know certain types of fish. Grouper, bluefish, this, that, that we know from our generations of growing up
Right.
with our parents or my grandmother. I never heard of a tilapia. And I tasted tilapia and I said, damn, so I did my little more and I found that was bioengineered fish. It's fed um, feces from pig and everything else. And
Wow.
it's in these biochemical farms, fish farms, where they grow them in China. A lot of them are in China.
Okay.
China has enormous population to feed. That's why they had an ecological problem with women wanting to have babies, and then you only could allow a certain amount of babies at some point in China because
Okay.
the population was so big and it was hard to feed. So they eat everything ecologically that they feel they can eat. From worms, they have delicacies. To us, that might be abnormal, but to them, it could be from an ecological, psychological standpoint, spiritual standpoint, that everything before them is meant to eat. So
Okay.
that's why when you go over here, you call these exotic foods. You might not know what you're eating sometimes until you ask and you say, wow. When you taste it, you say, wow. And it's not only about eating insects or bugs or crustaceans or mammals. It might be eating some type of something from them,
Okay.
like a fatty gel or a fatty substance, So when you ask that question about is it good or is it not, it may be better than eating the fish right out of the ocean because it's farm grown,
Okay.
it's farm treated, they extract the best of the actual fish and they put it in a petri dish and get the tadpoles and they feed it clear, clean water and the fish grows with those same traits.
Okay.
Nothing on the gene ladder that's changed. On that genome ladder,
Right.
there's nothing that changed on it. It's
Okay.
just that it wasn't coming from the sea. It was made by an extraction from a fish, like artificial insemination,
Right.
something of that nature.
That's good information, Doc. I appreciate it. I appreciate you sharing that information with the listeners on the radio and the listeners on YouTube, as well as the listeners that we have here on Facebook.
You're doing great work. You're doing great work. I've watched you a couple of times, but I've never said anything because your hair is so mystical and so godly looking
Thank you.
to me.
Thank you. Thank you.
Beautiful woman. And I watch your show sometimes.
I see you when
I don't say anything.
when you tune in. I see it. I see it when you tune in, Doc. Yes, I can see when you tune in. Absolutely. Absolutely. I
I
want.
write for a newspaper. Are you from Philadelphia?
I am. Where are you at?
I'm in Germantown.
Oh, then you're not far from where I'm at. I'm in Germantown right now. The radio
I
station.
write for a newspaper in Germantown.
Okay. So is it okay if I connect with you? Is it okay if I connect with you after my show?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Okay. I will
I'm
definitely.
opening a center. I'm opening a center on Oldance Avenue at 7300 next to Victoria's Kitchen.
Yes. I've been there.
I'm opening a pediatric center for autistic children. I was there all day today with Great Lakes Floors.
Okay. I definitely want to talk to you. I definitely want to talk to you, and I'll be reaching out to
I'll
you.
text you my number.
Okay. You have my number, though, right?
No, I don't.
Okay. It's
I'll text
267.
you mine. Whatever you come.
What I'll do is I will instant message you my number so you'll have it. Okay?
Okay.
Thanks, Doc. I appreciate your input so much. Thank you for sharing that with us. Absolutely.
You're welcome.
You can stay with me.
Any topic you want to talk about, I'm knowledgeable about.
I'm sure you are because I have another health topic. Methylmercury was one about the fish. The second one was it's been reported that eating red meat is associated with an increase of breast cancer in women.
Yes.
Or have you heard or
There's
are
a
you
lot of
familiar
things.
with that?
There's a lot of things associated with breast cancer in women.
Yes,
One
but
of them is using perms, constant use of perms, and having the chemicals from the perm seep into the scalp. The scalp is the most absorbent part of our bodies, and it's such a powerful part of our human existence, our scalp and our hair follicle. And when we put chemicals in there, you can take someone sniffing cocaine and 10 years ago, and they could pull a follicle of his hair and know that he did what he did 10 years ago.
Okay.
A follicle of your hair can tell so much about what's in your body.
Absolutely.
So when women put chemical chlorides and things in their it often seeps into the bloodstream, often causing breast cancer and other types of cancer.
Right.
And whatever animal eats in their bodies, fleshly, chemically, don't think that that just goes away when you cook it. It doesn't. And you might alter the chemical reaction in that blood, flesh. But also, there are companies now who are coloring meat so that you can buy it.
I've seen that.
They put red. Yes.
I've seen that.
So
yes, I have seen that.
Much.
That I did
when
see.
You talk about introductions on general level. You could go into research on them for 120-page dissertation. If you really did all your research, you would be amazed. So we don't want to be factual when we deliver information. We want to be broad and drill it down to a centralized scope. Just be mindful in your daily habits and your ecology around what you're picking and eating and investigating and doing your research. That's what we really want to do.
Yeah, and not enough people, right? Not enough people take the time out to do that, let alone read the ingredients of what they put in their mouth or put on their bodies and be able to understand what the label says. That's a big part.
Right. Yes, you have to break those ingredients and chemicals that they give you two labels. They give you an ingredient label, and then they give you that label that tells you the real ingredient.
Yes. And some people don't understand how to read those labels. Right. Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you, Doc. I appreciate your input on that. But
I look forward to it.
Okay, and I'll reach out to you. I'll instant message you later on tonight after the show so we can connect because you're really not far. You're not far from the radio station, and your center that you just opened for autism isn't far either.
No. You're in the Maplewood Mall radio station?
No, actually, I'm at 47 East High Street in Germantown.
47 High Street.
That's across from Germantown, the old Germantown High School.
Yeah, I'm familiar. I ride by here every day.
Okay.
When I'm going up to 7300.
Okay. So I will definitely be reaching out to you. That's congratulations on your center for autistic children.
Thank you. If you ever want to stop by, you can.
I will.
It's not finished yet.
Okay.
It's finished soon.
Okay, because I know the location that you're talking about.
Yes.
I know the location that you're talking about. So I'll be reaching out to you later on tonight. And I hope you stick around and watch the rest of the show.
Yes.
Thanks, Doc.
I'll watch the rest.
Thank you. Appreciate you.
Your name?
My name is Carolyn.
Carol?
Carolyn. I'll answer to either one.
Oh, Carolyn.
Yes.
You know the young lady who owns the newspaper on. They just moved from Roxborough to Pulaski and Shelton, right across from the Stop and Go.
I don't know her.
Her name is Carol. She spells her name the same way you do.
Okay.
Carol Gilmore. She saw me on Facebook and she asked me what I write for her newspaper. I was on the Germantown webpage. And she liked what I did so much. Her and her husband said, "Would you write for our newspaper?"
That's
I'll
awesome.
send you a link to it.
Okay, send it to me, Doc. All right, thank you. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for sharing your knowledge. It's very important. Talk to you later, Doc.
All right.
So everybody in Radio Land, YouTube, and Facebook, we have given y'all the two health alerts, and the wonderful doctor have given his knowledge and his input as well on the fish. And you had something you wanted to say?
Yeah.
You good? You ready for the second half?
Mm-hmm.
I bet you are.
I mean, I'm
bet,
sorry.
I bet you are.
Nowadays, it's like nowadays you can hardly eat anything.
Yeah,
Well,
you have to be
like-
careful about.
Like he was saying about your perms, that's unsafe.
Well, that's because it
The
has
chemicals. And
the
stuff,
chemicals
so
in
you
it,
have to
and
understand.
when women put perms in their hair, you're not supposed to put it directly on the scalp, but it still goes on the scalp anyway, especially when you go and rinse the chemical perm
There's
out.
also certain lotions and
Yeah,
baby powder now.
yeah. You gotta
And
read.
then you gotta watch about eating chicken. And you said red meat.
Well, what I said was this was done. There was some researchers that did a study on 42,012 women. They followed those women for 7.5 years. The um, data that they did was they took a look at the women's age, physical activity, they body mass. Thanks, Dr. Lorenzo. I'll be calling you tonight. They body mass index and they caloric consumption. Those were the four things that they did when they did the study. So they had women that they fed red meat to, and women that they gave white meat to. And the women that were eating the red meat, they show an increased risk of breast cancer compared to the women that were eating white meat showed a low risk. But the women that ate the red meat had a increase in breast cancer. They followed those women for 7.5 years to get that data and come up with that study. And that study was done by the International Journal of Cancer, those researchers, and they suggest eating white meat to lower the risk of cancer. It is what it is. Yep. So that was the two health awareness, health alerts that I had for our viewers and listeners tonight. Do you have any questions that you want to ask me based on that?
Not today.
I know what you're waiting for. I know exactly what you're waiting for. But before I get there, I'm going to say this. Now it's time for us to have a little bit of fun. So I want to take the time out to do this first. Mr. CEO of Sador Radio Station Mark 5 is in the house in my live stream. Keith, thank you for tuning in. Carol, thanks for tuning in. I'm okay with YouTube. I'm okay with YouTube. Tanya, thanks for tuning in. Black Boy May, thanks for tuning in. William, thanks for tuning in. Dr. Lorenzo, thanks for tuning in and your participation. My line dance teach. Bernadette Burnett, thanks for tuning in. Danny Basil, thanks for tuning in. Badass, thanks for tuning in. Cousin Angela, thanks for tuning in. Gwendolyn, thanks for tuning in. Good friend Jeff Cook, thanks for tuning in. Cousin Troy, thanks for tuning in. And my military buddy, thanks for tuning in. So now is the part where Mr. C is actually waiting for, and I know all y'all seen the topic, sex. And it's because nobody wants to talk about it, so I know I'm pushing the envelope. And I have what it is we're doing. Just let me get it together. Wait a minute. You got jokes.
You got jokes.
All right,
This has got to be interesting.
I'm gonna just say that for last. Oh, 1, 2, 3, got a lot of pages. Four, here's five. Five, six, seven, seven, eight, nine. All right. So we're gonna have a little bit of fun tonight with this topic. Don't be shy. It's all adults in the house. So I'm going to talk about sexology, orgasms, anorgasmia, masturbation, oral sex, and some sex facts. So before I get into this part, if y'all not shy, don't be afraid to participate. Participate. All right. So I'm going to start off with orgasm. What do you know about orgasm?
I'm listening.
I'm asking a question.
Who's?
No, not whose orgasm. No. What do you know about orgasm? Like, what do you think the real meaning behind orgasm is?
A woman is having. Well,
Or what? You act like you're scared to talk. The cat got your tongue tonight. You not talking?
no. I just need to watch what I say.
No, you can say what you want. It's adult time. I can't believe Mr. C actually is.
Saying no orgasm is a woman's honey.
Men have orgasms too. It's not just women.
Rock it off. That's it.
All right, an
When they have no
orgasm.
orgasm, they make this.
An orgasm is a feeling of intense physical pleasure, and then there's the release of tension during sexual intercourse. That's for male and female.
Okay.
Okay? The release is involuntary. That's an involuntary release. Would you agree or disagree? Involuntary release of rhythmic contractions from the, I wish I had bought my book, from the pelvic floor muscles.
Oh,
I forgot my book because I wanted to show them what the pelvic floor looks like. That's orgasm. Okay? Now there's different types of orgasms. No, really, for real. No, let me take that back. There's different types of, because I want to get, do you have people who can't reach an orgasm? And that's what I really want to get into. People who have a hard time having an orgasm, people who have difficulty having an orgasm. There's reasons why they can't have an orgasm. You have women who never had an orgasm, let alone what one feels like. That's called an orgasm. Anytime you see a or an, it means without. That means she can't have an orgasm.
Mhm.
And it's three types of those anorgasms. Anorgasmia. There is lifelong, which means she never had one. Then there's the acquired. She used to have it, but now she can't. She got trouble climaxing. Then there is, and then I'm saying she, but it works for he too. It's interchangeably. Then there is situational, which means an orgasm is going to depend on the situation at that particular time for climaxing with oral sex or masturbation. And we're going to get into masturbation and oral sex in a minute.
Okay.
Okay. Then there is generalized, which is she cannot orgasm in no situation, regardless, whether she's alone or with a partner, or he's alone or with a partner. You took the mic off. You got something to say?
Mm,
next, I want to talk about, if y'all have anything you want to say, please come in. You can request to be in my live, or you can type in your comment or ask your question. Yes, Mr. C,
No,
you good
right now.
for right now? Okay. All right. Let's talk about achieving an orgasm. Why you ain't got jack to say? Is this a touchy subject for you?
No, not at all.
Okay. All right.
I want to see how deep this is going to go.
Some people, they'll tune in to the live streams, whether it's here on YouTube, or whether it's here, and they won't say nothing. They'll tune in, but they might not
They just
never.
listen, guys.
They just listen. They just watch. So, orgasm. It is a complex reaction. Would you agree
Yeah.
that it's complex? Why? Why is it complex and not simple?
Oh, God, no, it's
Mm,
not simple. That's work.
It's a complex reaction to any type of physical, emotional, and psychological factors that are going on at that specific time.
Stimulation.
Yes. And there's all types of stimulations.
Oh, yeah.
Would you care to name a few before I go to number two?
No,
Am I just talking to myself tonight?
no, I'm with you, but
Okay.
I gotta watch what I say.
No, you really don't. Um, you have different ways to achieve an orgasm with a female. It's going to be vaginal penetration or clitoral stimulation. And in order for that to happen, that's still going to depend on a lot of things: age, medical issues, and medication. If she has some medical issues going on, those medical issues may be a reason why she can't reach a climax, why she can't get an orgasm. Medications can play a very big part because of the side effects with medications. Would you agree?
Yeah, that goes on both parts. Yeah.
Yes, it does. It does. You got any questions for me about that yet?
No.
Before I go on to number two?
We'll
Okay,
come
number
back
two.
to it.
All right. I want to talk about some of the factors, and I know when I put this topic up, people probably thought, "Oh, she's gonna be raw and nasty."
You are.
No, I'm not.
Mm-hmm. Got that sleepy smile on your face. You are.
I'm not gonna be raw and nasty
Turn to
again.
the camera and lie.
No, I'm not gonna be
Turn
raw.
to the camera and lie.
I'm not gonna be raw and nasty.
Okay, look to the camera and say that.
I'm not gonna be raw and nasty.
Why you smiling?
But I'm gonna be. I'm not. I'm gonna turn to camera. I'm not gonna be raw and nasty, but I'm gonna keep it 100.
That's
about
raw
that?
and nasty.
No, it's not.
It is.
So let's talk about some of the factors that will keep a woman from reaching a climax, which can become or cause personal distress. If a woman can't have an orgasm, that can cause stress in her life. Some of those factors are a medical disease, a gynecological disease, um, cancer, surgery, hysterectomy. Women who have a hysterectomy have a difficult time or hard time reaching a climax. It may take a little longer for her.
Mm.
No, really, it'll take a little longer for her because if she's had a complete hysterectomy, keep in mind, she has no organs, no reproductive organs with a complete hysterectomy. Her pleasure center is done, is gone, is taken. Pleasure center is the cervix clitoris, born, attached to the uterus, taken out. She don't have it. So for her, she could still have a desire. She could still have um, internal desires.
So it's really
But
like there's
it's
no pleasure to her.
it takes a lot of stimulation to get her started if she's had a hysterectomy. Because their pleasure center's gone. So it's going to take a little longer to get her.
A little longer.
Yeah. Have you ever? I'm not asking you nothing. Let me just move on. Medications.
Oh no, go ahead.
Go ahead. What?
Have I ever what?
I'm not asking you no questions.
Why?
I don't want to. I don't want to ask you no questions.
Oh, any other time you would.
Okay. Since you pushing the envelope with
I'm
me.
not pushing it. Go ahead.
All right. This is the question. Have you ever been with a woman that you know had a hysterectomy?
Yeah.
Was it hard for her to reach an orgasm?
Oh God, please, yes,
It was.
yes, it was.
That's a lot
It
of work.
is. It is.
Okay. A lot of work.
Yeah, it is a lot of work. A lot of work.
Were you patient with her?
Some of the time.
Okay. Let's talk about the times you wasn't patient. Why you wasn't patient with her? It's not her fault.
Okay.
So
And it's not mine.
no, but you should have had a little bit more patience with her
How much a little bit of patience is there?
because it's not her fault.
Okay, I understand that,
it's
but
human nature
yeah, but
because of a
it's
surgery that she had.
okay, but it's taking so long.
I'm moving on.
Okay, thank you.
Another factor is medication. Top three causes of sexual dysfunction when it comes to medication. Number one on the list.
Blood pressure.
How'd you know that? Did you take a guess?
Mm. Yeah,
That was a guess, or you know that for a fact?
I know for a fact.
Okay. What Mr. C said was blood pressure medication, which is number one on the list that will cause sexual dysfunction. Number two was antihistamines. Number three was antidepressants that will cause sexual dysfunction. Other factors are alcohol and smoking. Alcohol cramps the ability to have a climax. Did you know that? Alcohol cramps the ability to have a climax.
Mm. No, I didn't.
Smoking limits the blood flow to have a climax, which is going to decrease the climax success rate. Alcohol and smoking, that's what the two. Those two right there have a hard time having a climax.
Some people be doing pretty good with their alcohol.
I guess it depends on how much alcohol consumption a person take in.
But it doesn't affect everybody the same way.
No, it doesn't. But if you take a person who drinks a lot, like they are a drinker,
An alcoholic or a drunk.
yeah, alcoholic or drunk. I was trying to be nice.
Okay.
They're gonna have a hard time trying to have a climax, trying to have an orgasm. Doesn't matter. They definitely gonna have a hard time.
But they try.
Okay. Next is the aging process. As we age, our bodies change normally. You have hormones that was rich in our youth, and as we age, they decrease. And that is going to limit the blood flow, especially in women. It's going to limit the blood flow to the vagina and the clitoris. So that is going to cause her to have difficulty reaching climax. You have something
So
you
when
want
they,
to say?
well, when they're When they're not reaching their climax, they're not really enjoying it at all. They're just there.
Is that what you experienced?
No,
Have you ever experienced it? No? Yes?
oh,
Not sure? Not sure? No, I wouldn't say because she doesn't reach her orgasm or she doesn't reach her climax. I can say, oh, she just laying there and letting him do whatever it is he chooses to do. I'm going to give some tips, like 14 of them. It was 24, but I cut it down to 14.
yes, yes.
But I'm not going to say, oh, she just laying it and she's not enjoying it. But it's all about communication. If you know that your partner is having a hard time climaxing, that's a conversation that must be talked about.
Okay, so her pleasure center is gone.
Okay, her pleasure center is going, but it doesn't mean that she is mentally dead.
No, I'm not saying that, but physically, it's like,
It just takes a longer time for her. I'm being realistic here. It takes a longer time for her.
for
It
her,
doesn't mean that
but-
she's not interested. She could be very much interested, but I would say this, it's going to take a longer time for her. You do whatever it is that you feel as though you need to do to get her there. Just like she would do whatever it is she needs to do to get you there. Like, I'm going to say this, you have men who have erectile dysfunction. Now, is erectile dysfunction temporary or is erectile dysfunction permanent?
I don't know.
You have
Some say
men,
it's temporary, some say it's permanent, but there's ways that, you get an erection. They
there,
got these things coming out now, how you get an
key
erection.
word, there's things that people can do
To get an
When-
erection,
to for
Or-
an erection
well,
to happen.
well, then, okay, then what about, and the women have things that they can do to have an orgasm, right?
Yeah, I mean, you can do oral sex, you can play with toys, then masturbation. There's a whole lot of things you can do to get him or her there. Moving on. Number 5. I'm not going there with you. Some people have mental health problems that will also cause sexual dysfunction. And those mental health problems would be anxiety and depression, plus antidepressants that they may be on. That's going to kill it. And then you have those individuals that don't feel good about their body. And if they don't feel good about their body, how do you expect for them to feel in a bed next to someone and they have issues about the shape of their body, how their
Who-
body looks?
Who has the issues? The person, she do, or
It could
the
be
person?
him.
Okay, then,
You have some
then that's your
men.
self-confidence, right?
Yes.
Okay.
And it has a lot to do with self-esteem.
Okay, but then on top of that, and if you laying there with somebody, then why aren't they there? I mean, other than that, they probably, they appreciate who you are and the way you are.
That's true, but if
Okay,
a
then
person, it's all about self-esteem
Okay,
and
but then
image,
somebody might
personal
be
image.
well, that person could give you confidence and make you feel better about yourself.
Hopefully they do, but what
Okay.
if they don't? And they never
Well, then they
say
don't
nothing.
need to be laying beside that person.
Say what?
They don't need to be laying beside that person. I mean, if you with somebody and they in the bed with you, most of the time, or a lot of people, they have pillow talk, don't they?
I don't know.
You lay beside your man and don't have pillow talk.
I do have pillow talk. However, you said most people have pillow talk. I don't know about most people. I can answer for me.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry, excuse me. Well,
All
from
right, let me
now
say this.
spoken,
I'm gonna say
most
this.
people lay
Who
beside.
is on? Who's in the live stream and just type in yes. You have a partner, a spouse. Do you still or do have pillow talk with your spouse, partner, significant other, side chick, side dude? Do you do whatever? Do you do any type of pillow talk with that person? Just type in yes or no. Communication is key for anything that has to do with sex between two people, whether it's just intimacy, or it's just one night stands, or it's just booty call, or just straight outright fucking.
Okay,
So
but then okay, on top of that, it's still the same. You know, after it's done, what you know, you just gonna turn over and go to sleep or get up and go. I mean, you lay there for a minute and you lay there and you talking, aren't
it depends on what type of relationship it's in.
you? Ooh,
I have to
don't-
say that because what if it's a booty call? Is what you gonna say if it's a booty call? You know why you here?
the money's on the dresser.
Hey.
No,
you have
it's not that you just gonna hit it and get it. I mean, get it and just run.
Cougars
So
are like
and
that.
Cougars.
yes, cougars
Okay.
are like that. Cougars, they just want one thing. The guy know why he there. You there to service the cougar. That's it. She don't want to see your
But
ass after
I
that.
see, well, I don't know in my head or as I'm thinking, I see that there's gonna be some kind of a conversation after that's over.
Depending on the type of arrangement.
The Cougars are Cougars. They only want one thing.
I'm a, I got some stories to tell. Let me tell you the story.
Here we go.
All right. There was this guy. There was a guy. He was an engineer by day. This guy who is an engineer during the day. At night, he's a gigolo. At night, he's a gigolo. And according to him, because all he engaged with, I'm trying to use the proper term here. The women that he engaged with is wealthy women, all races. Okay. And when he gets the phone call to escort, because that's what it's called,
Service these women.
okay, service the women, escort, he do what he gotta do, and he leave. He do what he gotta do, get paid, leave. When I asked him, was there like, do you ever get to know these women on a personal level? He was like, I get to know them on a personal level as far as what they like and what they don't like, where they want to go and where they want me to go with them. If they need a man on their shoulder, I'm there. But that's it. He doesn't, he look at it as, even though it's a side hustle, but he doesn't get personally involved with the women to where he wants to know them on that type of level. He's just there to service them.
But I'm sure some women are talking.
Maybe.
And that's what you don't know.
I'm not a guy. I
Okay,
wouldn't
but
know.
I'm saying, did your survey come up with something?
Who said I did a survey this time? You did? Who said I did a survey this time?
Okay, you didn't do a survey?
I did some. I asked some questions.
Okay,
That's what I did.
okay.
Some of the questions I asked, they felt as though it was TMI. I was asking for too much information. They wasn't willing to tell me everything. They just told me bits and pieces.
Mm.
But as far as getting to know these ladies on a personal level, he wouldn't do that. You stupid. Isaiah says, I'm on my way. I'm a bobcat, not a cougar. You stupid.
Who?
Isaiah, that's my military buddy. Um, But I understand what you're saying is that nobody is just laying in the bed and going to sleep. There's talk there, whatever. It may be, it may not be. I don't know. Why you giving me the puzzled look?
I'm not getting. Mm.
You got something you want to say?
Have you been with your mate and you after you had to after you had your sex and all that, you just turned over and went to sleep, or did you lay and talk with
My mouth, I talk.
her? Okay.
Hey, hey,
Right.
talk
You
to
didn't just
me.
so you didn't just turn over and say thank you and go to sleep.
No, there's
Okay.
always conversation with me.
Okay. When you was the side chick, was it the same thing, the same way? He just said,
Conversation.
did he talk to
There was
you after you
conversation.
finished?
There
Okay.
was conversation. But not everybody is a talker. Some people just want to, after they do what they got to do, have their orgasm, have their intimacy, have their sex, whatever you want to call it. Some people just want to roll up and go to hell to sleep. Not everybody's a talker. Does that mean the sex was good? Does that mean she wore him out? Does that mean he wore her out because they went to sleep? Or does it mean the shit was a lot of goddamn work?
Yeah. Somebody was satisfied.
I would say this, when you're in your 20s, 30s, 40s, especially in your 20s and 30s, you probably can go for hours.
True.
Hormones is the hell up.
True.
And then when you get to your 40s and 50s, you kind of like
Slow down.
slow down. And when you go above 55, it's like, I don't want to do it. It's a lot of work. That thought right there, I don't want to do it. It's a lot of work. That'll make a person not want to do it because they think about, I don't want to do this. Aging process is part of life. But it doesn't mean at some point in that cycle, the urge isn't going to be there. It's going to be there, but not at the time when the spouse or the significant other or the partner wants it.
Then guess what they will do?
What?
Get an escort.
No, they will wait.
Really?
Yes.
Mm. Not all.
You don't think that the person,
Not all.
would you say that's a reason to cheat?
For some
You get an
people,
escort that's cheating.
for some escort, side dude, side chick.
Is that a
There's much of a
reason?
difference.
Is that a reason to cheat? Would you say that would be a factor to cheat? Because your significant other says, you know what, I really don't feel like it tonight. You would just go out and cheat?
I
Or would you
wouldn't.
wait
I wouldn't say so much as go out and cheat, but how long would they wait?
until she feel like it or until he feel like it?
Mm. And there's suspicious lies.
That's an excuse, Mr.
Really?
C.
Is it?
Yeah,
Is it?
yeah.
Okay.
You said suspicious rise. Why? Because they don't want to do it when the
When you
spouse
want to.
wants to do it?
And it's like, how long are you going to wait?
I don't know.
Exactly.
I know people have waited a long time before they cheated,
Okay. But the point is, they cheated.
but they waited a long time.
And that was the question. How long would you wait? I don't know. But then
I don't know.
okay, but then they decided to go out and say, okay, I'm tired of waiting.
Well, sometimes they don't have to go out and say, you know what, I'm tired of waiting. If you know, shit just can pop up in your lap sometimes.
Oh, okay.
I'm just saying, putting it out there.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Number 7 is stress and financial issues that will be a factor, not cause, but be a factor for sexual dysfunction. If a person is stressed out and they stressed out with a lot of financial issues, I don't think being intimate is going to be the first thing on their mind.
Well, yeah, okay, but everybody goes through that, but that doesn't mean it's gonna last that long. Do it? No.
What do
Stress,
you call
okay,
long?
stress comes every day.
Some people can control their stress or just have the fucking attitude, like, you know what, I don't give a shit. I'm not gonna let this stress me out. It has to be something like really, 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 really pressing for certain people to be stressed out. Like something like really pressing. Other than that, they don't get that stressed out.
Sometimes you get into an argument with your significant other, or
Okay.
your mate. That's like, that's a turn off. It's like, never mind, I don't even want to do it.
Okay.
Right?
And yeah, that can be.
Okay.
If that's intense like that, that would be a turn off. You're like, you know what? I don't want to do shit with you.
Right.
But that don't mean you're going to go out and cheat either.
Right? That don't mean it's gonna last that long and you don't want to do nothing with them. But I'm talking about like months. How long would they wait? Months?
I don't
Years
know.
after, if you wait years after that, it's done.
So why stay if it's going to be years after that?
Exactly.
Why stay?
How long would they wait?
Don't know.
Exactly.
You have people that have. I'm not going to use me as an example.
Oh, why not?
No, I'm not. I'm not going to use me as an example because I know people that have been married much longer than I have. I've been married for 25 years, but I know people that have been married for 35, 40, 55, 60 years. Like, I'm sure somewhere in that marriage of 55, 45 years that they had some issues, and one of them didn't cheat and waited. I really believe that. Not everybody freaking cheats.
Okay, I can understand. Not everybody.
Right. You do have some good people that's that faithful to each other and they don't cheat.
I give it 25% out of
Okay, all right, all right. Number three,
100.
let's talk about pelvic floor. Pelvic floor health. I wish I had my picture. Um, I'm gonna try to give y'all a visual, female wise. Visualize this. Women,
Yeah. Come on, be raw.
women, you are butt ass naked and you are laying on your bed with your legs up, but your feet is planted on your bed. Men, I'm gonna give you a visual of how you can. Mm,
Stimulate.
I'm trying to go there on how. Hmm, I need
Yeah, wow.
no. I need my book.
Okay, you don't have it.
I'm trying to give a visual here.
Decisions, decisions,
Decisions.
decisions.
All right, I got it. I got it. I got it. So she's laying on her back with her knees flexed, well bent, and feet planted on the bed. So if you open her legs up as wide as you can get them open, and you reach underneath, oh my God, I'm gonna get in trouble for this. And you reach underneath by, are you familiar with pelvic thirst? No, you wouldn't because you're a guy. Most
Wow.
women, most, you might, because you're an OG. You know how when women do a pelvic thirst, do you?
Mm-hmm.
All right. Pelvic floor action. So when it comes to pelvic floor health and sexual activity, it goes for y'all just as much as it goes for us. Because y'all have a pelvic floor too, not just us. Y'all got a pelvic floor too. So one of the things about pelvic floor health is there's certain times when sex is going to be painful. Why are you giving me that look? Do you have something you want to say?
Mm-hmm.
Where were you just now? You weren't here in the radio station with me, so where the hell were you?
Oh, I was here.
You was ventured off somewhere.
No, I was here.
All right. You have pelvic pain and pain with sexual activity. There's several reasons why women may feel pain during sexual activity. It's not always going to be because of a UTI, urinary tract infection. It's not always going to be because of a STD or the new term STI. That might not be it.
It's
It
just
might
all
not
in the
be.
same thing of why the woman has her knees up in the air and her feet planted on the bed. And then when she spreads her legs, what? The pelvic floor, right?
Pelvic floor thirst.
Pelvic floor. You can use your ready to say if you put your hands somewhere on her body or what?
But I left it alone because I used another example. And the other example I used was the pelvic floor thirst because everybody can relate to that.
Okay, what's the pelvic floor thirst?
I'm not going to do a demonstration on live
It's
radio,
not, I
let
mean, you
alone
can't
TV.
explain it.
It's no, I can't.
Why?
But I'm sure you know what it is just as well as these adults over here know what it is.
Maybe not all people. I would like to have an explanation. Teach.
That jokes. I get to that in a minute, but first I gotta finish this because you're trying to take me off topic.
No, it's still the same topic, but I was
No,
asking
because I was going to say something else. Let me finish and I'll get to that.
you. Okay.
Um, it may not be because of yeast infections, which is common for women to have. It could be because of muscles, joints, and bones um, in the pelvic muscles that could cause difficulty and painful during sexual activity. So it's not always for the most common known reasons. It could be because of the pelvic floor muscles. It could be because of the joints, the bones in the pelvis. Pelvis is here. I don't understand.
No, no after show is good.
Everybody know the pelvis there, right? Pelvic floor dysfunction. Um, I'm going to say this. It is when there is sexual pain with no clear medical causes. Then it's diagnosed as pelvic floor dysfunction when there's no medical reason for the pain. And some women do have painful sex. Some women will endure it to please their man. Some women do. And some women will just like, no, I don't want to do it. And the reason why is because it's painful for them. What?
Well, okay, but then would they explain that to their mate or the person?
That goes back to communication.
Right.
You gotta talk. If there's no talking, how are you gonna know? And you're probably thinking, well, men, I know men probably think, oh, I can't get none tonight. Couldn't get none last night. I couldn't get none last week. I couldn't get none last month. What's the problem?
And women would think the same thing.
Yeah, but if she's experiencing pain during sexual activity, she's not gonna want to do it.
Okay, did you say men have that pain too?
I said men has a pelvic floor. That's what I
Okay.
said.
Oh.
That's what I said. Um, Males can get pain. I'm gonna ask you this. I'm gonna ask y'all too. Have you ever experienced pain in your groin area,
Yes,
testicles,
yes,
tip of penis?
yes,
Okay. Inability to have an erection,
yes,
premature ejaculation,
yes,
difficulty reaching a climax,
yes,
post ejaculatory pain.
no,
Okay. All of those that I just asked you has to do with pelvic fluid because your pelvic floor can be weak or it can be strong. If you have a weak pelvic floor, there's different things that you can do to strengthen your pelvic floor muscles so that you won't be in pain. There is, I'm trying to think of this, there's a group of physical therapists that specialize in pelvic floor dysfunctions. Physical therapists that specialize in that's
What you mean,
they
they
don't
give
they
you a
don't
massage or something?
they don't do the they don't do the internal exam because of where you have to reach. They do an external examination. They don't do the internal. The physical therapists that specialize in pelvic floor dysfunction because it's a trending market right now because a lot of people suffer from pelvic floor dysfunction, men to include men included with women. The physical therapist is now specializing in pelvic floor dysfunction, but they don't do an internal examination because with the internal examination to get to the pelvic floor, you're gonna have to be a certain finger somewhere to get there. So um, they don't do the internal exam, but they will do the external exam and suggest different exercises that a person can do to strengthen up the pelvic floor muscles. Most women know about the famous Kegel exercise.
What's the exercise?
Kegel
The
ex.
external exercise.
Oh, you got a smile on your face. Stupid. The Kegel exercises strengthens the woman's pelvic floor muscles, and what she does is she contracts her pelvic floor, the walls of the vagina muscles, contract, release, contract, release, and that helps build up her pelvic floor. Other than that, she can um, there's a wine, like I'm starting to tell myself with this one. When I was selling sex toys, okay, there is a wine that women can buy, and you insert this wine. What you looking at me like that for?
Okay.
You insert the wine into the vagina. When you insert the wine into the vagina, you contract, release, contract, release, contract, release. That helps build up the pelvic floor and the muscles of the vaginal wall in case she has weak muscles. Now, I know men may be saying, um, men sometimes can be freaking sarcastic and say, "Oh, her walls is weak." Now, when men say that, what exactly do y'all mean when y'all say that? You can say it in the mic. It's okay. You ain't gotta whisper to me. Say that shit in the mic. Say it. It's okay. When men say that, what do they mean?
I think it means like, um, too wide open.
She's too wide open.
Mhm.
Her walls are loose.
Mhm.
What you do, swim in there or something?
Pretty much. Or drown.
Leave that alone. I'm trying to behave. I'm really trying to behave with you because of the topic. So, as a man, what do you do? Do you just stop?
No,
If it's like that and it's uncomfortable for you, so what do? Just stop?
no.
Do you talk to her and let her know?
That's that is no.
You
I
don't
mean,
tell
maybe
her that?
afterwards, yeah, but while doing it, no. Just change positions.
Okay. All right. Change positions.
Mm,
And that changes the dynamics.
yeah,
I mean, if she's
yeah.
loose and open like that, how much is it going to change?
It could change.
Okay, give me some details.
Mm,
Why?
mm, just change positions.
I need to know from a male point of view. You know what? I'm going to ask some men on here. Where you men at? Keith, Black Boy Man, Danny, Fat
I really
Jeff,
don't.
Troy, Isaiah. Isaiah might be bold enough to answer me. Red, Ricardo. Listen, guys, and George. Here's my question. If you find that you're engaged with a woman and her walls are loose, and
Collapse, as you said.
what did you say?
Collapse.
Collapse?
Is that what you said? Collapse.
No,
You didn't say hoops.
I said loose.
Okay.
Okay. Her walls are loose, or you find, as Mr. C put it, swimming or drowning. Do you get up and stop, or do you go along with it, but you tell her when it's over? Just type it in. Say, I go along with it, or I tell her when it's over.
I say change position.
Mr. C says he changes positions because that changes the dynamics of it. Okay, so I'm just waiting. See who's bold enough and brave enough to say so.
Mm.
Why you looking like that?
Um,
Are you going to respond, or you going to wait on them? Because
I
you know
did respond.
sometimes these little lovely angels over here,
They're not gonna say.
they don't never say nothing. They just watch.
Okay, well, I did respond.
You said change positions.
Mm-hmm.
I said, does it change the dynamics?
Yeah.
Do you still feel like you're swimming in the sea?
No,
Oh,
you feel something.
okay. Okay.
The walls closed in already.
What position is that?
Yeah.
What position is that? What position is it? These men on here may want to know what position is it?
She's sitting
From the front or from the back?
from the back.
Okay, that changes the dynamics.
Mm-hmm.
Next up is masturbation. Every man masturbates. Every man masturbates. You start when you little boys.
How you know?
I'm gonna tell you how I
No,
know.
how do you know?
I'm gonna tell you how I know. I have a grandson. He's 5. He's in discovery mode. And hey, Dr. Lorenzo, you're back.
Oh,
So my grandson, 5 years old,
mhm,
he's in discovery mode.
mhm.
This is what happened. When I'm gonna take that back, he was younger than 5 when he started discovering himself. He was like 4. When he was 4, he would I would put him in the bathtub. I would put him in the bathtub, and little boys play with themselves. Innocent as they are, they're in discovery mode. What's this? That's your little wee wee. That's your little wee wee. And because he's a baby, 5 or 4 at the time, what am I gonna say? Hey, don't do that. Don't touch that. I'm not gonna say that. Because if you do that to a little boy, he gonna think, oh, I'm not supposed to touch my wee wee. No, I want my grandson to discover himself. That's
Okay.
normal.
All right.
This is how come I say you guys start early. Okay, you guys start early with masturbation because you discover yourself. Now let's go back further. In utero, it is documented that babies in utero masturbate. Known fact. In utero,
What's your role?
baby.
Oh, okay.
In utero, baby.
Okay.
So you start early. Then when you grow up and you become 18 and your dick get hard for the first time,
It's on.
and your dick get hard for the first time, that's discovery. When you wake up and you wake up to a stiff dick and you gotta go to the bathroom and pee, that's discovery.
Not all
You
the
get your
time. You gotta go to
goddamn
the
little
bathroom.
magazines. Now you watching the porn magazines. That's discovery. Y'all start early.
And you graduate too soon.
Okay, you graduate the porn films. That's early. Later on, and now are a full grown man, and damn it, y'all still masturbate. You still do it.
Well, I got my grant participation.
Say what? So you start early, all the way up to
Yeah.
adult malehood.
And women.
Women do masturbate.
And
Let me
then
tell
they
you.
start.
Let me tell you about this film I saw. Um, this was when I was selling sex toys, and it was a group of women. They were all in a room, and they were all masturbating to come to a orgasm from. And I had this conversation. Darn it, I had the same conversation. It came up when I was a host on a hip hop radio show. It's a They have an orgasm from a second hole, from the urethra. A woman can have an orgasm from the urethra. It's not always a vaginal orgasm. A Some women have anal orgasms. I don't know about that. I got some freaky friends.
Mm. Okay.
But this video I saw was about having a urethra orgasm. It's the first time I saw it. And I was like, wow, I didn't know that can be done. But it was a form of masturbation. Self discovery.
And when you start, what age?
I don't really know.
Or really, when did you start?
I don't know. I don't
You know, see,
know.
when I ask questions, you like, I don't know now, right? You get dumbfounded. I don't know.
I don't
You're a
know.
woman, right?
I have to think about that.
Really?
I really do. I do. But it is known that it's healthy and you should masturbate 4 times a week.
Damn.
That was done by a study from Indiana University National Society of Sexual Health and Behavior. One should masturbate 4 times a week.
So like a
It
functional
releases
server.
mood boosting and feel good endorphins in the body, mood enhancers.
Why would you masturbate? You got a partner that you can go with.
Some men or women don't have partners.
Okay.
So if they don't have partners, what's the other option? Masturbation.
Okay, but you said it's like, whether you have a partner or not, you should masturbate at least 4 times a week.
According to the Indiana University, is healthy.
Mm.
National Survey of Sexual Health and Behavior. According to them, it's healthy 4 times a week. That's a lot of work on y'all. Why you looking at me like that? You have men that prefer masturbation over intimacy sex. What do you have to say about those men?
They ain't got nobody.
And what if they do have somebody?
They must not be enjoying it.
All right. Masturbation is a form of self pleasure, but it's good for the heart and good for the blood pressure. That's the benefits of masturbation. It's good for cardio, it's good for the heart, and it's good for the blood pressure. In females, it keeps down yeast infections.
I always wonder, where does that yeast infection come from?
Yeast,
Cleanliness or
huh?
the cleanliness of them? Or,
If it depends on what kind of panties she wearing, her hygiene. Hygiene plays a big part.
that's what I said, cleanliness. Okay.
Hygiene, what kind of panties she wear. If she don't wear no panties and she wear like tight jeans, not some women
Yeah.
have like tight jeans or tight
Mhm.
pants on,
Mhm.
and she don't wear no underwear, you get a yeast infection. If she is a woman that's trying to get all the dick and her legs is up on his shoulders in a V shape, and he enters the area where he should not enter, which is clean, clear past the cervix entry, she can get a yeast infection.
Okay.
To y'all, it feels good. To her, not so good.
It's painful.
It can be, but you shouldn't be in that area anyway. Because this is what happens. The more, let's say the cervix is tight. It is tight. It's tight, damn it. Cervix is tight. So the more it's penetrated, it begins to
Explain.
expand and open up. That's the area where the tip of your penis should not be. But to you, it may feel good. It may also cause you to have an orgasm. You got something you want to say?
No,
Oh, just just saying.
that's something interesting in there.
What's so new about that? That's old.
Okay.
Dr. Lorenzo says we must question studies, methodology, population, and data analysis. Please look at. Okay, I will. Absolutely, I will. Thanks, doctor. In males, it can help prevent prostate cancer, masturbation.
Oh, really?
Yeah, really. It can also help alleviate or eliminate depression and stress. The more you masturbate, the less you're going to be stressed. The more you're going to be depressed.
I would agree with that.
You agree with that?
Yeah.
Okay, all right. You got something you want to say? That was masturbation. Next topic is oral sex. What? I'm really pushing the envelope here.
Pushing it. I think you opened it.
I opened the envelope.
Mm.
All right. Let's talk about sex. Oral sex. But before I talk about oral sex, I want to talk about anal sex. And the reason why that I'm going to bring up anal, the reason why I'm going to bring up anal sex is because there is a lot of females. When I was selling sex toys, there's this cream called Anal Ease. That was my number one seller. And women, I can't say like they're like freaky. It is what it is. But that was my number one seller. Women like anal sex. One of my friends was so bold enough to tell me that she can have an orgasm from anal sex. And I was like, I can't see that. That I can't see. What you mean there's such a delay, Kevin? Kevin, what you mean by there's a delay? You got something you want to say?
About the anal sex?
Yeah. Have you
Women?
ever did it?
No,
No?
no,
Never had a desire for it?
no.
Good. You wanted the good ones. You wanted the good ones. I'm gonna get to hold on oral sex in a minute. And speech versus sound. Oh, okay. Thanks, Kevin. Let me see. See if I can do this. Hi, Dr. Lorenzo. What's up?
Alright, I wanted to talk about the um, prostate concerning, you hit on it real briefly before you left, and I was trying to write, but it jumped to this.
Okay.
Um, men who release most often do reduce the chances of having prostate cancer
Okay.
and prostate cancer. Men don't often talk about that much, but when we get sometimes when men reach a certain age, um, their sex drive decreases. But what we found over the years is that with many studies that look at this, it's about blood flow. Getting blood flow
To that area.
As we get older, our blood vessels get stiffer, harder, and less flexible. So the more oxygen we take into our blood and exercise, the more flexible our blood vessels become, and the more oxygen that gets to our sexual organs. It also helps other parts of the body. But men tend to, at a certain age, start to don't read a lot, don't uh, educate themselves around health, which is a big issue in a lot of our community, people of color community. Women tend to be the progenitors of helping black men get good health. Um, but those men who decide to concentrate on their health, decide just lifting weights and thinking that, being big and macho and all that is good health, that's not true. Good health is spiritual, it's physiological, it's internal. It's not only about what we eat, it's about what we don't eat. And it's about the type of activities we have. Like you're hitting on the point of sexual activity. Sexual activity reduces frustration. Certain people get certain ages in the lifespan psychology, and they start to believe these social uh, paradigms that they've been taught, the socially conditioned to believe. Oh, well, I'm getting old, honey, they just spurt out these words become that are really myths, but they become truths after a while. It's like self-fulfilling prophecies that we say to ourselves, and you've heard of these core values. But I'm getting older. I'm menopausal. You know, this, that, and the other, that aches and pains, all of that. People begin to believe that they're supposed to accept that, and that it drives down sexual prowess.
Okay.
It curves sexual prowess for more sleep time or less physical activity. And then men sometimes don't believe that you can have sex. It doesn't necessarily mean penetration. Sex can mean oral sex. Sex can mean um, exploring and touching. Um, and oftentimes, sex is psychological. I think sex is more psychological than physiological.
It can be. It can be, absolutely.
Yeah, and I think it's psychological first. You
Mm-hmm.
get to know someone, and you get to know and this is more or less on a spiritual level. You get to know someone, their smell, their little innuendos, their uh, their behaviors, um, their, uh, their sounds, the way they do things. You become certain things trigger certain things in your psyche
Mm-hmm.
that cause arousal
Yes.
in women and in
Yes.
and oftentimes if men understand that it's not oftentimes about macho penetration, I think they would learn to have more sex. And they would find that their body is telling them that they can still have sex if they learn to be patient and explore other things with their partners.
Yeah.
Mr. C said, yeah, Dr. Lorenzo. Stupid.
Say again?
Mr. C said, yeah, to what you were saying.
Who would CC? Who is CC?
Mr. C is my co-host. You'll never see him, you'll just
Okay.
hear his voice.
Well, and see, that's to understand. Men don't want to talk about it, but men do have. I've, I've been sexual since I grew up in foster care, and I used to spend a lot of time by myself as a kid, growing up in a house full of women and
I,
exploring myself and masturbating.
I can't say men don't
And
want to talk about
masturbation
it.
is it, it does something to you in your ecology as well as your physical. If you're right-handed and you like masturbating with your right hand, oftentimes at a young age, your penis will curve to the right. If you're left-handed, oftentimes to the left. The hand that you use the most and the way you stroke your penis will determine the shape from as you're a young man in the muscle begins to shape itself. Some men may masturbate in a straight forward motion, get a straight penis.
Okay.
I'm more of a right person, so my penis tends to curve. And
Okay, we didn't
also,
even know that.
you understand, we are malleable human beings. We are shaped by our environments. We are not in a vacuum.
Right.
You know, sex is just as important to our physical and mental health than anything else. If you're not having sex, you're going to be frustrated. You might try to act like you're saving it from Jesus or whatever, but you're going to be frustrated. And you act that out, you don't even know it subconsciously.
Okay. Thank you.
Is my mic on?
Your mic is on. You have something you want to ask Dr. Lorenzo?
No.
Thanks, Dr. Lorenzo. Thank you for your input,
Welcome.
especially from a male point of view. Thanks.
Yeah, it's important. Thank you.
You're welcome. You got something you want to say? Are you sure? All right. We on to oral sex. Oral intercourse. Sexual activity involving stimulation of the genitalia of a person using your mouth, your tongue, or your throat. You said something.
Well,
What
not
you
your
said?
hands.
Not yet. We're gonna talk about that.
Your
In
mouth, your
females,
tongue, or your throat.
females is called cunnilingus. Males is called fellatio. When a woman sucks your dick, it's called fellatio.
Okay.
When men eat pussy, it's called cunnilingus.
Ooh, you get it wrong.
It is what it is.
Okay.
Got something you want to say? All right, we're going to talk about leveling up the oral sex game. Have you? I ain't asking you shit. You've been in and out tonight. I don't know. All right. You're OG. I'm gonna ask you a question. Have you ever engaged in oral sex?
Yeah.
Okay. Was the communication open?
Yeah.
Okay, good. Did you, this, you know what, everybody? I got some questions for y'all. While I'm doing this piece, this is what I want y'all to think about. What is your favorite sexual position and why? And do you think that oral sex should always be reciprocated? Yes or no? Just type in. Don't be shy. Hey, DJ Manny. Don't be shy, y'all. So, questions is think. I want y'all to think about these questions and then type in your answers while I'm going through this. One is, what is your favorite sexual position and why? Two, do you think oral sex should always be reciprocated? Those two questions to start off with. Thanks for the thumbs up. Thanks for the heart up. Now I'm moving on. Stepping up your oral sex game. One, you want to narrate the scene. If he or she is not delivering the way you want to deliver it, then you got to talk to him or her. You got to communicate and let them know, like, listen, this is what I want you to do. This is how I want it done. And if I need to show you how to do it, this is how you do it. So you got to narrate. Got something you want to say? You good? All right.
I don't, most,
Be-
I don't know, when you're doing something like that, most people don't really talk about how you do that or how you doing it.
If you're not being satisfied, you better tell the person,
So a lot
like,
of them
listen,
don't. A lot of them just roll with it.
just roll with it.
A lot of them don't have experiences like, to have oral sex, male or female.
They gotta learn sometime.
Yeah, well, there's a lot, not by somebody's like, explaining how to do it. It's more or less experience and stuff.
You can communicate.
Experimental.
If let me okay, Thaddeus says no favorite position. Okay, and he says yes, absolutely. He feels as though it should be reciprocated when it's done all the time. Be creative in the positions that you're in. Missionary with a woman's, this is Dr. Lorenzo, everybody, Radio Land. Dr. Lorenzo says, missionary with a woman's legs wrapped around my waist, up, bent, and kissing face to face at the same time. That's his favorite position. You got a favorite position?
No,
Okay. Neither does Thaddeus.
they are my favorite.
All right, we got 2 minutes. I gotta wrap this up in 2 minutes. Um, did you ever do it spontaneously?
Yes,
Okay. And are you okay with toys as a man?
no,
I know women are okay with toys,
no,
but just hear me out. Hear me out. Hear me out. Would you object to being introduced to toys in the bedroom?
no,
So you're open to that,
no,
but you won't object to it.
no.
But you're open to it.
Mm,
What happens when you get tongue tied? You have to introduce something else. You're talking about oral sex.
okay,
So if you get tongue tied, been down there too long, don't you think toys would assist?
yeah, oh yeah, okay,
Okay, now you see my point?
yeah. Thank
Okay,
you.
all right.
When you talking about toys, I'm like, okay, which way you going with that? Toy gun.
Okay, if you get tongue tied, toys can assist in the bedroom
Yeah,
until you're ready to regroup.
pretty much, yeah.
Kevin says, doggy style, especially when it's being done on a big booty, bouncing back. Oral sex does not always have to be reciprocated because when my turn comes around for it, I know that I know that it's going to be the bomb. That's Kevin's response.
Okay.
Thank you, gentlemen. I appreciate y'all for tuning in. Dr. Lorenzo, because phallic sensation is about being unexplored pleasure. Yes, it is. Moving right along. Use your breath. I'm asking y'all this too, y'all. Have y'all ever used your breath to stimulate the nerve endings during foreplay?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
You smiling on that one.
Oh
Okay. Have you ever used porn in the background to help get things moving along?
yeah. No.
Never did that. What about y'all? Just answer it as we go along. Now, this one is for the ladies. Some of y'all is freaky, and some of y'all may not be so freaky. This one is called prostate play externally by stimulating the perineum, which is located, this is on the outside, not the inside, located between the anus and the scrotum. Prostate can be stimulated from the outside. Doesn't always have to be from the inside. We had that episode before.
Mm-hmm.
Have you ever kissed outside the panties?
What do you mean?
Have you ever kissed outside the panties to lead to the vagina?
Oh yeah.
All right. According to, I want you to agree or disagree. according to Dr. Jill McDevitt, she is a sexologist. She's also with Cal Exotics. Cal Exotics is a company I used to purchase my sex toys from. And she says that women, hi Jackie, Tiffany, you can ask a question. Dr. Jill says women should open up the lips, the labia, to give you guys more space to approach the clitoris from all angles and sides.
Yeah.
Done it, love it, is quite pleasing to women. Dr. Lorenzo says, done it, love it, licking the rectum is quite pleasing to women. Just no, haven't tried that what? Tiffany, what's your question? Tiffany, you can ask a question. What's your question? If she's not in the mood, do you turn the lights off to help her get in the mood and play some music?
Yeah.
You do that.
Or
Or what?
I
Or what?
kiss outside the pants.
Until you get them off and then you kiss inside everything that's there. Yes or no? You plead the fifth? Not sure?
Sounds
Okay. Um,
like because some things I don't know. A lot of men don't talk about.
Men should talk about it.
Should. And
Why
they
don't you?
They don't.
Why not? It's life.
It's who you talking to. It's who
What?
you talking to. It's who you talking with about it.
Why would that make a
It,
difference?
it just does. I mean, I'm. It's not like you want to, sit and talk to a stranger about your personal habits or how to have sex with somebody.
No, you don't. Let me take that back because
You're
I've
doing it
been,
right now.
yeah, I'm talking to strangers about oral sex and the
Exactly.
sex conversation. But I will say this: it doesn't matter to me because it's all about life. It's reality. Everybody fucking has sex.
True.
So why should it be a taboo topic, or why should it be a topic that really don't nobody want to talk about? And there's all kinds of different ways of having sex,
Because
and it doesn't always have to be penetration.
it's maybe because they don't know how or they don't know when to talk about it.
Tiffany says this is her question: if she doesn't squirt for a man, is it her fault or
This
his?
is what? This is what?
If she doesn't squirt for a man, is it her fault or his fault?
I don't know. I can't speak on it because it's like the fulfillment of the joy you having. You enjoying it, then you probably will. If you're not satisfied, then I don't know if you squirting. Not squirting is like work to a woman. You gotta get that woman really aroused to make her squirt.
So
And
is it
some women just squirt automatically. Women are very, they different. They differ from one
female
woman
to
to
another?
another. Yeah, exactly.
Right.
But it all depends on their sexual desires too. How they want it done. It's like, what's women's favorite positions, how they want it done.
Tiffany, can I bring you in live? Just let me see if I can get it. Oh, it's time for us to go.
Round two.
All right, listen up. I didn't know it was this late. I'm over my time by 7 minutes. And what I will do is I will have a part two to this conversation, and we're going to pick up. Okay, Dr. Lorenzo Tiffany, he says it's not about fault, it's about psychological reaction. Fault is not a factor. Kevin says, I think that squirting is an art. Both parties have to be engaged, but the woman has to be in tune with what's taking place. I'm going to say this about squirting. I'm not going to say it's her fault, and I'm not going to say it's his fault. But I do agree that it's it takes both parties. If he can get her, if he can get you to that point, Tiff, if he can get you to that point of squirting, you're satisfied. If you get yourself to that point of squirting, you're satisfied. But it can be done together.
Exactly what I was saying.
That can be done with you and him to get you to that point of squirting. Don't ever feel as though if you don't squirt, it's your fault or it's his fault. It's nobody's fault. It starts here. It all starts here. From here, it's internalized. Okay, but what even though you can squirt, but you can't do it for him, then maybe you need to take a look at the man that you're with that it's not happening, or find a solution, or find another way where you can squirt for this man. But it starts here and it's internalized in order for that to happen. So no, you're not at fault to. Let me see who else do I need to. I got you. I got you. Okay, what I'm going to do, Mr. C requested a continuation on this topic. So I'm going to change my schedule around, and we're going to continue this topic next Monday. It's going to be a part two to this sex conversation, and we're going to pick up where we left off, which is on oral sex, because there's other types of forms of sex that I wanted to get into that we didn't get into because of we had such a good time tonight on the topics. Okay, you can squirt if you eat your snacks. However, you just answered your own question. So I'm going to say this: our time is up, and we're way past it. I'd like to thank Dr. Lorenzo for participating. I thank Tiffany for participating. I thank my good friend Kevin for participating. And I thank everybody on here: Mark, Keith, Carol, Tanya, Black Boy, William, Dr. Lorenzo, Bernadette Burnett, Danny Basil, Badass, Angela, Gwendolyn, Jeff, Troy, Isaiah, thanks for the heart love, Redsman, Ricardo, Isaiah, George, Jackie, DJ, Thaddeus, and Terrence. And Terrence, I thank everybody for tuning in to tonight's show. You have been listening to Let's Talk with Karen and Mr. C. Our topics tonight was health awareness topics on methyl mercury with the fish. We talked about that. We talked about red meat being associated with breast cancer. If you tuned in late, please watch the replay. I always leave my live streams up. You can watch the replay on the health awareness and health alerts. And Dr. Lorenzo did give us a lot of information on his input with that. And we talked about sex. a topic nobody wants to talk about for whatever reason. And because we ran out of time, I'm gonna rearrange my schedule, but we will be discussing this again next Monday. So I'd like to take the time out to say thank you, everybody, for tuning in. I appreciate you so much. Mr. C, you have something you want to say?
Thanks for tuning in to Let's Talk with Carolyn, Mr. C. I hope you enjoyed the show. See y'all next week. Until then, be careful, be safe, and watch what you're doing and say.
Audio Land, don't go nowhere. Facebook, I'm going to log off because I got to take care of the Audio Land and take care of YouTube. You can also watch this episode on YouTube. You want to go to www.bit.ly/Sador Radio to watch it on YouTube. Or you can just come back here and watch it on my video live stream. But thank you everybody for tuning in. There will be a part 2 to this topic as far as sex. And I'll see y'all next Monday. Take care, everybody. Stay blessed up. Bye bye. Audio Land, don't go nowhere. All right. YouTube. YouTube.
You're gonna fall right into the screen.
Hey, everybody in YouTube land. I'd like to take the time out to say thank you. If you're catching this on a replay, type in replay. If you want to comment, put your comments in. If you want to ask questions, put your questions in. You have been watching Let's Talk with Carolyn on Sador Radio Station with Mr. C. We are here every Monday night, 8 p.m. to 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. If you are international, if you are outside of the United States, check the time zone. We are on Eastern time zone. Take care, everybody. Stay blessed up, and thanks for tuning in. Audio.